The tragic betrayal of King Edward II. In the early 14th century, England was ruled by King Edward II, a monarch remembered not for great victories, but for betrayal, scandal, and a brutal fall from power. Edward II became king in 1307 after the death of his famous father, Edward I. But unlike his father, Edward II was not a warrior king. Instead, he formed close relationships with a few select men in his court, especially a young knight named Piers Gaveston. Edward showered Gaveston with gifts, titles, and royal privileges, angering the powerful barons of England. Many believed Edward's bond with Gaveston was more than friendship, fueling rumors of an inappropriate relationship. Whether true or not, this favoritism created enemies within his own kingdom. The barons saw Gaveston as a dangerous influence. They forced Edward to banish him several times, but the king always brought him back. Finally, in 1312, a group of nobles captured Gaveston and executed him without the king's permission. Edward was heartbroken but powerless to stop them. But this was only the beginning of Edward's troubles. A few years later, Edward favored another companion, Hugh Despenser the Younger. Repeating the same mistakes, Despenser became the king's chief advisor, gaining wealth and power while crushing Edward's enemies. The barons rose against the king once more, but this time Edward crushed the rebellion, showing a rare glimpse of strength. However, Edward's worst enemy was not among the barons. It was his own wife, Queen Isabella of France. Isabella, known as the she-wolf of France, grew tired of Edward's obsession with Despenser and the humiliation she suffered at court. In 1326, she made a shocking move, teaming up with her lover, the exiled nobleman Roger Mortimer. Isabella invaded England. Their army easily defeated Edward's loyalists. The king was captured, Despenser was executed in a brutal public spectacle, and Edward was forced to abdicate the throne in favor of his young son, Edward III. Edward II was imprisoned in Berkeley Castle. According to legend, he was killed in a horrific manner, murdered with a red-hot iron rod. Though some historians debate the truth of this account, whether true or not, Edward's fall remains one of the darkest tales of betrayal in English history. The story of Edward II is a haunting example of how personal choices, favoritism, and betrayal can destroy even the mightiest of kings. His reign became a symbol of failed leadership, broken alliances, and the deadly cost of trust misplaced. Long after his death, his story lived on as a warning to rulers. Power gained by favoritism and selfishness often leads to a tragic end. The Knights Templar was a powerful group of warrior monks founded in 1119. They started as protectors of Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land, but soon became one of the richest and most influential organizations in medieval Europe. Their power grew as they gained land, wealth, and influence across different kingdoms. They were known for their bravery in battles during the Crusades and were respected by kings and nobles. However, their growing wealth and independence made many rulers jealous and suspicious, especially King Philip IV of France. Philip owed the Templars a lot of money and wanted their riches. To take control of their wealth, he accused them of terrible crimes like heresy, secret rituals, and immoral acts. Most of these accusations were false and created just to destroy the Templars' reputation. On October 13th, 1307, King Philip ordered the arrest of all Templars in France. They were tortured to force confessions of crimes they didn't commit. Under the pain of torture, many admitted to these false charges. Some said they denied Christ, worshipped strange idols like Baphomet, and took part in sinful ceremonies. These confessions were used to justify further actions against them. King Philip also pressured Pope Clement V, the head of the Catholic Church, to act against the Templars. Even though the Pope was hesitant at first, he finally gave in to the king's demands. In 1312, the Pope officially disbanded the Knights Templar during the Council of Vienne. Their lands and properties were taken away, and mostly given to other religious groups like the Knights Hospitaller. The last Grand Master of the Templars, Jacques de Molay, was burned at the stake in 1314. After retracting his forced confession, his death marked the tragic end of the Templars. Even after their fall, stories and legends about them lived on, creating many myths and conspiracy theories that still exist today. Muyi is story key 30. Whaley key picks Jizi generate Carney HN.